We're being recorded.
Yeah, he's going live. Yeah, it's good. Walt, you said you ready? Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Residents, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. We're honored to actually be out here to have this conversation talking about trash. This is one of the biggest contracts that we've approved, and we want to make sure that we've got it right and we continue to get it right. There's discussion and dialogue that we need to have to make sure that we can assist this firm, this organization, with moving forward with the contract that we signed, but also make sure number one priority is our residents are receiving the best service that they've been receiving and they will continue to receive. My name is Douglas Lawson. I'm the board chair for the city of Riviera Beach. I wanted to introduce my colleague, Trodrick McCoy, who's going to actually speak to you guys briefly as well. But tonight, we're actually supported by our mayor, who has helped to bring this event together, Mayor Ronnie Felder, and our colleagues, Kashamba Miller-Anderson, Julie Botel, and Shirley Lanier. So we just want to make sure that we welcome you guys tonight. Tonight is an open dialogue and discussion. We want to hear from our residents. We're going to be looking and volunteering all the information that's coming from online and making sure we ask those questions. We want you guys to volunteer the information. And one of the residents just asked me to make sure that we do this again. So we're going to do this very soon as well, to have another discussion with you guys to make sure we can continue this conversation to get the best service for trash. But let me go ahead and introduce my colleague, Councilman Trodrick McCoy.
Good afternoon, folks. Trodrick McCoy. I am a member of the City Council from District 1, and I am certainly delighted and could not wait for this opportunity so we can talk trash, more or less in efforts of a good conversation to come to, resolving some of the concerns that we've seen so far for the first year with having this new trash hauler. Certainly it's great to be able to talk about, growing as a city and an organization and inviting new businesses in, but certainly more importantly, at the end of the day, all we care about is clean and safe communities, right? We just want to make sure that our neighborhood is treated just like any other neighborhood throughout the county, and make sure that, our government, the city of Riviera Beach, is responsive to our needs and making sure that, our problems and the things that we encounter on a day-to-day are addressed. So certainly I'm delighted to be here. And I'm not just here as a member of this city council, but more importantly, I have concerns myself, and I wanted this I wanted this forum so that we can be able to raise these concerns with our trash hauler and staff and administration as well, because certainly, change is inevitable, and sometimes it's not always a fluid situation. We're going to have our share of problems. So, I'm certainly committed to being a part of the solution, and that's why I'm here today, to bring some of these concerns up and figure out a best path forward with the resolving all of our concerns in areas of improvement that we need to see. So I'm really delighted, and I'm open for the dialogue and conversation. Thank you, Chair Lawson, for putting this together.
Thank you, Councilman McCoy, and thank you everyone that's watching at home as well. We're going to have our moderator actually do the presentation. We're going to have two presentations tonight, and then we're going to have Q&A. That's the most important. Conversation, discussion, and dialogue. If anybody wants to ask a question, please, our intern, Joshua, will be taking information cards, turn them into him, and he'll get them over to our speaker. And at the end of the program, we'll be asking all the questions. Tonight is a healthy conversation, dialogue, and discussion. It's to get answers, but it's also to support each other and to uplift the program, which is our trash holder, which is our city. We want healthy information, healthy dialogue, but we want honest, genuine discussion. We want you guys to not hold back, but also know that it's a fluid process, as my colleague said. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our special project manager and contract administrator, Brother Nehemiah Spence.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend this Let's Talk Trash informational event. We're here to have open dialogue and to ensure that the residents have all of their questions asked. This event will have two parts of presentation: the compliance team and also the good company. But first, let me introduce our compliance team for the city of Riviera Beach. We have Mr. Johnson from the Code Enforcement, Ms. Bostic. We have Arthur Johnson, who is the compliance officer, and we have Cedric Clark, who is the Public Work Operations Manager. And again, my name is Nehemiah Spence. I am the administrator for the contract. A clean city is essential to the well-being and prosperity of a city and its residents. Our goal is to work with our community, the good company, to promote a efficient waste management program to facilitate clean community environment and to encourage community participation. Awareness will facilitate residents to adopt clean, simple strategies that keep their communities clean and green. The purpose of this presentation is to inform and educate about our waste management procedures. We want to have open dialogue and address any questions that you may have. We're here to create awareness and foster compliance. We want to promote individual responsibility, involvement in our community beautification. And again, we want to address any questions or concern that you may have. We have three types of collection that we have. We have our solid waste, which is our garbage. We have our yard, which is our vegetation, and our bulk service. And if you look around the room, we wanted you guys to have a visual of how they're supposed to look and how it's not looking. So as we move on in this presentation, we'll be able to give you guys pictures and information of how we can make sure that everyone is on the same page. We'll go into our garbage collections. Residents must use approved garbage bins, which is the blue bins. You can see it right over there with the City of Riviera Beach stamped on it. You have collection twice per week, and the garbage bin must be placed at least 3 feet around the curbs. The garbage lid should be closed. And the reason why the garbage lid should be closed is it rains a lot in Florida. So if the water get inside, when they lift it, it'll mix with the garbage and you can have, that waste all on the road. So we want to ensure that the lid is closed. One of the things we have to ensure that bags are not put on the side of the garbage bins. It has to be inside. If it's left on the side, then it would not be picked up. Here's some example of the do's and don'ts. You have an overfilled bag that's with bags on the ground. You have vegetation, which vegetation should not go in the garbage bin. And now you have how your garbage bin should look. We'll get into our yard collection. Yard waste is debris from routine residential maintenance. Debris should be in a neat pile no larger than 6 cubic square feet or about the size of 2 refrigerators. Loose yard debris such as leaves and grass should be put in a bag. And the reason why it should be put in bags is because when the truck come and lift it up, debris fly all over the road and it looks like that our community is not kept. So we need to just take that time to put the loose leaves and grass chipping inside of bags. Please do not place piles on top of stormwater drain, electrical boxes, water meters, and they have to be within 5 feet of cars or mailbox. And the reason for that is you don't want your vehicle damaged or you do not want your mailbox damaged. So we have to ensure that we take that time just to ensure that it's 5 feet away from the cars or the mailbox. Here's an example of compliance, and here's an example of non-compliance. The non-compliance, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So we'll have a good understanding of what is expected and what is not. The non-compliance pile is the one that has the arrow, and when you look at it, this is called commingled, where you have tires, you have wood, you have auto parts, you have everything in there that makes this non-compliant. If it's non-compliant, it would not be picked up. So we have to ensure that we have everything in the right places. We'll get into bulk. Bulk collection is 1 time per week. only 3 pieces of items should be placed at the curb. Example of acceptable bulk is mattresses, furniture, and furniture can be a sofa, a love seat, or a table, appliances. We have refrigerators. But one thing about the refrigerators, we have to ensure that if you put a refrigerator out there, the door have to be taken out, because our young people sometimes get curious, or they may go inside, and if that door closed, they can suffocate. So we have to look out for our young people also. Examples of unacceptable bulk is tires, auto parts, fencing, hazardous material such as paint, things like that. We got to make sure that that's not on there. Glass table, if you put a glass table out there, it need to be broken and put into a box, because again, that is a safety concern. You have our little kids out there playing, you don't want them to cut their feet, or even adults. So we have to make sure that it's sealed in a box. Here's some of the do's and don'ts. If you look on the yes, these are how the items should look. They're neat, they're stacked. But when you go to the no piles, you have commingled, you have piles that's blocking the sidewalks, you have piles that near the fence area or utility poles. So we have to ensure that we make sure that all of our piles are in compliance. This is one of our major educational components as it comes to our tagging system. We have 3 color tags that represent all of the collection. The orange tag is for your yard, your green tag is for your garbage, and your fluorescent tag is for your bulk items. So if you see a tag, it will represent one of the 3 collections that we have. And we'll get into the tagging system as we move on with this. And again, just to let you guys know, this is our educational component to this. Okay, you won't be fined until December 1st, but as you may know, or let me let you know, my compliance team will be out there. If we see a non-compliant pal, we would knock on your door, or you'll have the tag that has the information. Give us a call and we'll be able to come out to explain to you exactly why this is not in compliance and what can you do to put it in compliance. Again, this is the educational component of this. In an effort to keep Riviera Beach uniform, clean and safe, non-compliant violation will be given. However, most residents are in compliance. The most of the time, we have contractors coming into our community and doing remodeling job, or we have people doing extensive lot work that's clearing up yards and stuff. And what they'll do, instead of taking it with them, they'll leave it out on the curb. If you hire somebody to clear your lot, part of what your contractor should do is take that stuff away, because what it leads to is a non-compliance. Here's an example of a non-compliant vegetation. Someone cleared out their back and they left all this stuff out there. So we have to ensure that we don't get a non-compliance tag put on there. And again, go back to the educational component of this. On that tag, it will have a phone number. If you have any questions, go ahead and give us a call, and one of my compliance team will come out to address any concerns or questions that you may have. Here's our non-compliance for vegetation and bulk process. Here's how it's going to work. And again, not until December 1st. I keep reiterating December 1st to let you guys know, if you see this tag, we're not fining you, okay, until the December 1st. The good company will leave a non-compliant tag on a non-compliant PAL. The tag will have the following information: the reason for the violation, and the reason for the violation, you'll know what it is from the color-coded tag. A phone number that you can call for further assistance if you need it, the date of the violation, and any other pertinent information. The resident will have 24 hours to make the PAL compliant or make arrangements for the trash to be picked up by another entity. If the violation is not brought into compliance and is not resolved within that 24-hour period, the good company will pick up the PAL at the expense of the residents. If the PAL is brought into compliance within that 24-hour period, the PAL will be picked up by the good company, but at no charge to the residents. All charges after December 1st will be added to your utility bills. So let me repeat that: after December 1st. Here's some helpful tips. To avoid receiving a non-compliance notice, please follow all collection guidelines and schedule. If you are unsure if you are in violation of our guidelines, please contact the Public Works Department prior to placing any items to the curb. We left on the table important numbers that you have of our compliance team. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate. We'll come out. We'll measure it for you. We'll tell you, well, this is a little too big. If you take, a couple of yards out and wait for the next pickup, you'll be in compliance. So we're here to help. Our phone numbers are out there. You can give us a call. You can email us, and we'll get all the information that you'll need to ensure that you're always in compliance. And before we get to the code, one of the biggest issues that we're having within the city of Riviera Beach is illegal dumping. We have to be the eyes and ears to ensure that illegal dumping does not happen in our community. We're working with the police department and also our code enforcement department to ensure that we come with strategies that's going to be able to help eliminate the illegal dumping. We also have to realize we have a lot of vacant lots within the city of Riviera Beach. And what happens is people see a vacant lot and they'll use it as a dumping ground. We have to look out for each other. We have to look out for our community. We have to ensure that our community is clean. This is all of our responsibility. We have to take ownership of our community. We do not need anyone coming from outside of Riviera Beach using our city as a dumping ground. That would not be tolerated. So we're going to work hard to ensure that the strategy we use will be able to eliminate a lot of these issues that's coming. We're not going to talk about the strategies, but you will see as time goes, a lot of these things that's changing. We are partners with code enforcement. They're part of our team. We work together. There are things that they can do that we do not do. However, we're in constant contact with each other. If there are issues, we would go with code enforcement. We come up with strategies, how we're going to adapt things. Here's the process that code enforcement has. The code enforcement officer will identify a non-compliance PAL. They will spray that PAL with spray paint. The code officer would then photograph the items for documentation. So what they would do, they would identify that PAL. They would spray that PAL, and then they would document it by making sure that they take photos of it. The code officer would then leave a door hanger to notify the resident of the violation, the date, and time for corrective action. So on there, it would be a time where whatever item it is need to be corrected by. After that, the code would return for removal to ensure that on that date that it's corrected. If it's not corrected, code enforcement would then contact the code compliance team, and we will have the good company remove that. And again, the bill will be on your utility bill. Here's a picture of a non-compliant pile with the spray paint and the door hanger that you will see if you not in compliance, and the code officer put that tag on there. So again, we're here to educate, to ensure that we're all on the same page, that you understand exactly what we're doing and how we're going about doing this. Here's some helpful tips when it comes to being in compliance. Avoid receiving a non-compliance. Please follow all collection guidelines and schedules. If you are unsure if it's a violation of the guideline, again, please contact the Public Works Department before you place anything out there. Give us a call. We'll come out there. We'll ensure if it's in compliance. Yes, you're in compliance. No, you're not in compliance. And we'll tell you what you need to do to get it in compliance. Now we're going to go over what a Q alert, which if you go on the website, it would be called a service request. The Q alert system is an internal work request used to track work orders from start to finish. And I have a video on there, so it'll explain it a little better. Walter.
No, not another trash day disaster. Hello, my name is Q. You can also call me Q Alert. The Q Alert system is a work request system used to track work orders from start to finish. The best thing about me is that you can submit a Q Alert just by going on the Riviera Beach website. Q, I thought we were supposed to be talking about trash. We are talking about trash. Whenever there is a problem related to your trash, you can use me, the Q Alert system, to submit a help request. Q, that sounds complicated. It's not. You can submit a Q Alert on the Riviera Beach website. You can even use your phone or computer. I'll walk you through it. Step 1, go to the Riviera Beach website. Step 2, click on Service Request. Step 3, type in the location of your issue. Next, select the details of your trash day disaster. What kind of disaster was it? Using this helpful drop-down menu. Then, type in your contact information. Once you have submitted your Q Alert, then you will receive a text or email letting you know that you have submitted it correctly. In about 5 business days, you should receive an update regarding your Q Alert. That's great, Q. I'm going to do that right now.
Created using Powtoon.
Thank you. I hope that gave you a better understanding how the Q Alert system works and how you can use it to be able to address any issues or concern that you may have. And again, that is something that we track. If it goes to us, we'll be able to notify the good company, and the good company also will receive that Q alert. So it goes to us, it goes to them, and we'll be able to track it until it is closed out. Now we'll go over the complaints process. Complaints can be made through not only your Q alert system, you can email us or even call us on the phone through the Public Works Department. And again, I made a copy of all the important numbers, so the number will be back there. So you'll be able to have all the numbers. You can give us a call if you want to, if you have any type of concerns. You can call us, you can email us, or again, you can go through our Q alert system. All service complaint should be directed to the contract administrator or his designee. The complaint should be resolved no later than 12 noon the next business day after it is received by the good company. So we have to ensure once the good company receives it, they'll have to respond to that by 12 noon. In the event that there's a complaint involving damage to private or public property, the good company shall investigate and provide the administrator with a full report within 24 hours. Now, once they complete their report, the report would come to the contract administrator, who would in turn do his report. So it doesn't end there. It ends with the contract administrator doing his part to make sure that it is a thorough report that will include speaking to witnesses, neighbors, or whoever we need to speak to ensure that everything is right. So it won't be, everything would be fair. What can we do to promote our community? Proper disposal of waste. Ensure that your trash ends up in the waste bin, not on the streets. That's very important for us to take ownership of our streets. Report a problem. If you see illegal dumping or areas of concern, report it to the proper authority. And again, we go back to one of the biggest issues that we're having is illegal dumping or people dumping things on vacant lots. We're working on the strategies to ensure that we're able to get that stuff off and keep our streets clean. We want to participate in local cleanup events. We want to take advantage of local cleanup events or organize our own cleanup events. We're talking about, trying to organize cleanup in all of the different neighborhoods. But with that, we have to ensure that our community participate. What we want to do, what we need to do is take ownership of our community, because I live in this community also. So we want to ensure that our community is clean and our community is safe. And when you see a clean community, that shows others that people are taking charge of their own community, and it shows that they care. And we want to maintain our properties. We want to keep our yachts and surrounding areas well maintained and free of debris. So again, we're working hard to do our parts. We want you guys to work hard to do your part. You'll have contact information if you have any type of issues or concerns. We want to be that liaison between, what you need and how can we ensure that our customers, because this is customer service, it's quality service, which is a step above customer service. You guys are the customers. Our job is to ensure that you're happy and to make sure if there's any concern that's within our scope of work that we can do. So again, if you have any concern, do not hesitate to give us a call. Here's a copy of the important numbers. And it's there's some on the back table. So if you need anything, do not hesitate to give me a call. And now I'm gonna call up the Good Company for their presentation. Thank you.
So quick reminder to all our residents that are here, if you do want to make comments or have any questions, we have comment cards. Joshua, our intern, is going to be handing out the cards over here. Just raise your hand if you want to submit a card to speak. If you've already submitted one, we'll be calling up residents and we'll be going around with the microphone. So after the Good Company presents, then we'll go straight into Q&A, okay? And I want to also welcome our newest trash hauler, Mr. Willie Good. Thank you.
Good evening again, and thank you, Councilman Lawson. And hello again to the residents, Riviera Beach. So we want to thank you for joining us here tonight in person and on the airways. This event is well overdue. Thank you to the Public Works Department and Mr. Lawson and the mayor and the city manager for helping us come together and organize this event to get out in front of you guys, the residents, and actually introduce who we are, the Good Companies of Florida. We're proud to be here. We're proud to serve this community. We have a great investment in this community, not just for the opportunity to grow our business, but as an opportunity to connect with a like-minded and a community from where we come from. So who are these guys from DC that came down to Florida and that's taken over the contract that you guys had for the last 30 years? My background come from a trash hauling background. My father started this company in 1991. He over the course of the 33 years in business, he built his company to be one of the largest minority companies in the United States. He's highly respected in his industry through hard work of falling in love with the industry of trash or garbage, whatever you may call it. He built a pretty sustainable company that not only put himself and his business partners in great position, but other subcontractors and people that were interested in this industry as well. In 2022, Mr. Good was inducted into the Waste Hall of Fame, which is a big deal in our industry. He did that and through partnerships and just garnering the respect and giving a great service and knowledge in this industry. So I want to have him come up here and just speak to you guys for a second and introduce himself to you all.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Will D., and thank you, City of Riviera Beach. Like my son said it, I got on back of a trash truck at the age of 13 to help my family out and support with, revenue, money in the Washington, D.C. area. I focus on the trash business because I like being out of the neighborhood and going around the city of Washington, D.C. And about the time I graduated high school, I didn't go to further education in college because I couldn't afford it, so I stayed working for trash companies. The largest trash company I ever worked for had 10 trucks. I currently today run over 400 trucks and I have over 1,000 employees. I run 15 different sites from Baltimore, Maryland, through Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia, North Carolina, and here at Palm Beach, Florida. This is our successfully fourth year in Palm Beach, Florida. We are the first minority prime contractor in the state of Florida, not just Palm Beach, Florida. I'm happy to be here. I love, when we parked our trucks by the city of Riviera Beach, I looked around and I said, wow, this looked like a neighborhood of people like-minded like myself, a minority piece. And I said, I'm gonna focus if this contract come out. I want to be part of this community to do this contract. When the contract did come out, it was the second bid. It came out one time, things didn't go as well, so they held up the bid process. Then we had this thing called COVID jumped in place. So the bid came out again. We had 5 weeks to start. It was unheard of. People was calling me, saying, Willie, what are you doing? You're gonna do this in 5 weeks? 14 routes, over 1,000 dumpsters. Not only that, we needed 25 new people to join our team. But I focused. I said, we're gonna get it done. It might be bumps and bruises, but we're gonna get it done. So we now been 1 full calendar year in Riviera Beach. We're really enjoying it. We got a lot of work we're gonna do, continue to do. Equipment for 5 weeks. Right now, when I order a truck, it takes 2 years to get a brand new truck. Over 2 years. We've only been here 1 year. So we had to find trucks wherever we could. I focused on this contract after the first year, and I parked 6 trucks from another contract for 1 whole year. I let them set at a facility in North Carolina, and I just said, drive the trucks around the yard once a week to keep them ready for this contract at City of Riviera Beach. So I'm gonna let the meeting continue on. We're gonna, be ready to answer questions. I will say this, picking up, as we call trash, running the streets, 43 years of being around this, 33 years of ownership, one of my biggest concerns is safety. Safety for the men and women, and safety for the residents, safety for the people in the street. Trash truck I call a deadly weapon. It's the heaviest vehicle to come through your neighborhood besides a fire truck. And you don't want to see a fire truck every week through your neighborhood. But a garbage truck, trash truck, however you name it, is one of the deadliest weapons when it moves and operates. So we deal with humans though. We have human people still operating trucks, which I like employing people, giving great opportunities, good wages, and having to buy homes and sending kids to colleges and all that. I've seen a lot like-minded people done very well with me in this industry. So when we do our training and we hire people, believe me, it's a praying session where please go out safe, come back in safe, but do a job well done. That's what we hire you for. We hire you to do a job well done. Our company have more incentives than any other waste company around. I'm always incentivizing people, men and women, weekly to just do a great job. So when some bumps and bruises don't happen, it's not always the men and women on the truck, it could be equipment failure. If you know parts, take a long time to get a part. So we can have a truck. I bought brand new trucks, and they're actually set for 4 months to get going. A brand new truck. When you see them trucks on the street, them trucks are $350,000 a piece. One truck. Very expensive. But the new trucks break down just like the old trucks do. So if you bear with us, call in, give us our 24 hours or less to get the service complete. That's what our job is here to do. But I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity, and I love being here. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So, going to introduce my team a little bit here so you guys get more familiar with us. Again, that's Willie K. Good. He's the founder and owner of Good Companies of Florida and Good Companies Residential. I'm the CEO and co-owner, Willie D. Good. I have my office manager here sitting in the front, Ms. Tanisha Underdo, raise your hand. I have our general manager, Chris McAfee, sitting up there, raise your hand. And I have my billing coordinator, Don Baldwin, here, raise your hand. She has Amanda Baldwin, her daughter, who recently joined us from the DC area, raise your hand. And we have Catherine Hamilton, who also does our dispatching and also does billing for us. Thank you. That's our admin side. For our operations, we have our residential operation manager, Jim Meredith. Raise your hand, Jim. We have our commercial operation manager, Chris Fitz. And we have our maintenance manager, who's not an attendant, Luwalzi George. And these are people who fall under their supervision. We have a route supervisor, Latasha Carey, Mrs. Salim Latif, Kenny Bethea, and Virginia Jones on the commercial side, and Andy Molina and Alan I'm sorry, I'm gonna mess up his name, but Etienne. I'm sorry, Alan, if you're watching. All right, so Palm Beach Solid Waste. And I'm gonna bring up a good friend and mentor of ours, John Ashamba, who was the director of the Solid Waste Authority for many years, newly retired, working on his golf game. But I'm gonna bring him up for a second just to speak on the Palm Beach Solid Waste in general.
Thank you, Mr. Good, and thanks for the opportunity tonight. I've been in the garbage business 48 years. I started at 14 throwing garbage and really appreciate this gentleman here. I never had the guts to go out on my own. I always worked for a company, and then 24 years ago went to the Solid Waste Authority as a director. There was mention about the contract, and there was one contract, and for whatever reason, it didn't take off. So we were asked, I was still employed at the Solid Waste Authority to help out the attorney for City of Riviera Beach and staff to put together a new contract. So that's how the contract was put in place. And just so there's no confusion, the Solid Waste Authority is a governmental entity because there's 39 cities. It's a governmental entity that's responsible for all the waste disposal generated in Palm Beach County. So they operate 2 waste-to-energy facilities, recycling facility, they do yard waste, 6 transfer stations, all those types of things. And you are assessed on your property tax 100% as a resident for your annual disposal cost. That's not collection, so I just want to make sure we're clear. The 39 cities provide their own contracts, their own bids, and have their own collection costs. So the authority does the disposal on your assessment, and on commercial, a portion of that is done on the assessment. The rest is made up by the cubic yard. It's important just to let you know, this contract, it's ever changing. And it was mentioned about the transition. To give you an idea, in Palm Beach County, the unincorporated area where the authority is responsible for collection, it takes about 9 months to a year preparing for a transition. This was done in a matter of a few weeks, which I've never heard of in 48 years. So that was amazing. So in a transition, you all had a company for many years and a level of service. Things are changing in this business. They're going automated. They're going semi-automated. It's very difficult anymore for anyone to come out of high school and say, I want to be a garbage man just like him. If you notice, people are doing this on their phones. Everybody wants an office job, 20 hours a week, and go home. It's a tough job, and thank God we have people out there that want to do it, and they do a really good job, out there every day, no matter what the weather is. So in this contract, there were changes that reflect service. Transitions are tough, change is tough. The city is working very close with the good company in an effort to try to work out these challenging times when non-compliant piles are put out there. They don't want to leave these things out there for an eyesore for your community. But there has to be a system in place, because when you bid something, and all of us in here probably have done that and gone shopping, when you price something, you look at what the service is, and your price is for that service, not for unlimited, not for any way people want to throw it out there at the curb. You'll never get done with your route, and it's not efficient. I compare garbage to the cable company. Everybody gets the basic cable. You want HBO or Cinemax, you're going to pay for it. But everybody gets that level of service to make sure it's adequate for the majority of residents. So I was involved, again, through the Solid Waste Authority to help come up with the language and the same contract that many mirror throughout Palm Beach County. So that's not new. So what I wanted to say tonight is, it's important to have the patience. It's important to read the educational information being provided in the back room. Take a look at it. You have garbage 2 days a week. Everything has to go in the container. You have bulk 1 day a week, up to 3 items. You have yard waste, which is 6 cubic yards, and it needs to be placed out there properly at the curb. Just a little note for you, your assessment, because it's an annual assessment countywide, you're actually paying disposal on 7 cubic yards of yard waste a year. 7 cubic yards is what you're assessed, because there's a lot of communities that have gated communities. They have 0 lot lines. They have no vegetation. So it's all taken in throughout the whole county. So at 6 cubic yards a week, that's 312 cubic yards a year. But you have to follow the guidelines and only place the 6 cubic yards every week. If everybody works together, and the reason I'm here tonight is because of my 48 years as unique, 24 in the private sector, 24 in government, I've seen it hundreds of times come together in forums just like this. If we work together, if we just follow the guidelines, and as Mr. Good said, there's bumps in the road, but if we work together as partners, we go and educate the public, and they've been doing that all along by taking piles at their own cost. But there comes a time when you can only do this for so long because, again, there's a bid number for a level of service. So I would encourage everybody, you have a beautiful city, you have a lot of opportunity, you have a great hauling company, and to continue to work together. And this will all be behind us, any challenges. And again, I can't stress enough, please take the time to grab the information in the back and read it, review it. And as the gentleman from the city said, if you have any questions, give them a call so we can be proactive working together and move forward. And I thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you, John. So I know y'all didn't come here just to hear us run our mouths. So we're going to open it up right now for some Q&A. And Mr. Lawson is going to be walking around with the microphone. So we'll pause now for any questions that you may have.
And before we go into our questions, if you fill out a comment card, please, we'll be calling your names. If you didn't get a chance to fill out a comment card, we'll make sure we get to you as well. I wanted to introduce my colleague as well. Ms. Kashama Miller-Anderson is here. Let her just say hello to everyone that's here.
Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to say hello. I'm glad that you all came out for this very important topic. We do want to make sure that we get it right. Good Company is trying to work with us, and we're trying to work with them as well. But we know that we are used to a certain thing. So we're hoping that we can get somewhere in the middle and everyone has a very clean neighborhood and they're very proud of their area. So thank you all so much for coming out.
And thank you, guys. Mr. Spence is going to be calling out the names. If you didn't get a chance to fill out a card, Joshua's here. He's going to be handing out cards for you guys, or you can come in the back and fill out one. But Mr. Spence, we'll leave with you.
Mr. Allen Nguyen.
Mr. Nguyen?
Good evening. Alan Nguyen, 1565 West 18th Street. I do know something about picking up the trash, garbage in this city. Before we decided to get rid of our own garbage company, before we did decide to get rid of our own garbage company, I think service was excellent. Somebody else didn't see it that way. So I'm here just to ask a few questions concerning pickup. One, what happened to the tire pickup? We used to pick up tires. You can answer later. You don't have to answer now. Two, we used to have campaigns to clean up neighborhoods where Public Works would give out rakes, gloves, bags. I haven't seen that in a while. Three, trash holes. Haven't seen anybody clean up a trash hole yet. Still waiting. Please, somebody tell me what a 6 cubic yard pile looks like. And somebody showed me, because I saw on the pictures, a garbage bag is 3 cubic. Anybody, somebody tell me what it looks like, so I can get my neighbors straight.
Yes, sir.
We have older citizens in my neighborhood, and they are concerned about 6 cubic yards.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Nguyen.
Okay.
All right, so to answer your first question, what happened to the tire pickup? So you still are allowed tires off the rim to be picked up with your bulk. Up to 2 tires can be picked up on each pickup day, on each bulk day. So as long as they don't have the rim on them, we will pick up the tires. You said that you had campaigns to do community cleanups. We're willing and able to partner with all the communities, all the community leaders of the neighborhoods to schedule cleanups. I think we did one before already earlier this year. Can't remember the exact neighborhood, but we definitely did that. We put a couple roll-off boxes out, and we had a clam truck out doing the community cleanup. So we're not above doing that. So I'll provide you with our contact information, and if you want to schedule a community cleanup with us, we definitely will do that. I think you said, what is 6 cubic yards? Oh yeah, of course, yes sir. For the community cleanups, yes sir, and yes sir, we will provide rates for that. And then what does 6 cubic yards look like? So I have a slide here to show a compliant pad. I know seeing it in person is better, but I just want to go, if I can. Okay, so this is a compliant pile. So the picture to the right, the veg is what we consider a compliant pile. And it's compliant now, we can measure that, and 6 cubic yards is measured at length times width times height divided by 27. That's how we get what the cubic yardage is. If you look at that picture, that pile is about 8 to 10 cubic yards. But we're not here to split hairs, right? The way that pile is put is bagged with the loose materials is bagged. The grass clippings and the loose leaves are bagged. That's a pile that we would consider compliant, and we will pick it up. So if you can imagine these first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of chairs, this podium for the height and for the width, the first two from the first row to the third row, that would be 6 cubic yards. And we have an example in the back. That's a very, very small pile. But like I said again, we're not here to split hairs on cubic yardage. With the piles that we are concerned about non-compliant are these piles. These piles. These piles. That's what we consider non-compliant. All right. So we're not here to drag you over the mud or rake you over the coals or try to take your money. We're here to try to help the city understand that it's a better way to do things. And change is hard. Councilman McCoy definitely stated that. But the idea is to stop the illegal dumping, the vacant lot dumping. And when you don't have any control on it, that's what happens. So again, 6 cubic yards is length times width times height divided by 27. And the biggest thing is to make sure it's neat and any loose clippings, any loose grass is bagged. So again, if I go back to this picture, that right picture is a compliant pile. That left picture is a compliant pile of bulk. 3 items, and like I said, we're not here to split hairs. If you guys put out an extra dresser out there on that curb, we're taking it. So I hope that answered your question a bit. Thank you.
All right, our next comment card.
Kent Pollock.
Good evening. My name is Kent Pollock. I live in the Marsh Harbor gated community on Congress and 13th Street. And for the record, let me just start off by saying that we have had a great experience with the good company over in Marsh Harbor. Our concerns is actually the gut of the contract. Right now, we have 402 units in that community. Each one of those units get a bill, just like you do, for $22.05. That comes out to almost $9,000. Our community is structured where we cannot have totes in the community. We have 402 units and probably 120 could have totes if we allowed it. The rest of that community, we use 8-yard containers. With the capacity of the community, we can only handle 11 8-yard containers. So if you take a look at that 11 8-yard containers, look at 402, that's approximately 38 units per container, which is not sufficient. We did 2 pickups just like everybody else in the community if you have a single unit. However, for that capacity, two pickups does not help in our community. So what we're doing is we pay that $9,000 to the city, and then we have to pay an additional $4,000 for another pickup. So we're paying $13,000 a month for trash pickup for 402 units. I think that the city needs to go back and take a look at the structure of the contract, because we're not the only gated community that has that problem. Okay, Sonoma Bay has it, other communities. All right, we have our hands tied. What do I mean by that? We have the maximum number of 8-yard containers that we can allow to sit in that community without creating some kind of problem. We also have a community that cannot use totes. So we're forced to pay for an extra pickup, which you probably wouldn't do because we already calculated. If every unit in our community could get those totes in there, we would not need that third pickup. And I've been dealing with this prior to the good company. 6 months before the good company had this, I was with the prior company doing the same thing. Once we realized we were paying for extra trash. Now I've been dealing with the city of Riviera Beach now since day one about that. I talked to sanitation at one time. I talked to somebody from procurement one time. In the last 10 months, I've been dealing with finance. Right about now, we're at a standstill where we think that's going to happen. But we just don't think that the city did a fair, equitable job. When you talk about the good of the community, they did not take into consideration anything about these gated communities, because we all have that same situation. We have some communities that are gated that have totes, and they still have to do those trash pickups. So we pay through our HOA for trash. We pay through the city for trash. Our trash is not that good for us, okay? We need some answers as to why that we have to do that, because right now we're at a standstill with the finance department, and that's just not going to satisfy us in Rosh Harbor.
So continued dialogue for tonight, as we have a lot of questions. So I want to make sure that we're getting to the concerns and the issues of all of our residents. So please, let's get straight to the questions so we can try to get answers, responses, and understanding from either staff or from the good company so that we can keep the program going.
Paul Murray.
Mr. Paul? No? Next guy.
Michael Chavers.
Mr. Chavers?
All right. Good evening, everybody. I see you say that this for the good for the residents. I see you say this is good for the residents of Revere, but all I kept hearing you saying is what this residents of Revere are gonna have to pay. They're gonna have to pay. They're gonna have to pay. That's all I keep hearing you saying. And if you look at the residents of Revere, they're gonna really get boxes. If they got a glass table, break the glass, box it up, bag up all the stuff. Look at your residents. These are residents. Y'all putting more pressure on the residents than y'all do on the people that's supposed to pick up trash. I done went from the city of Riviera Beach. I used to work here. I city of West Palm Beach, not city of Delray Beach. But I see y'all putting more pressure. Riviera on the 37 streets. 37. And you mean to tell me the trash company that, I don't even know how they got in here, but apparently y'all got them in. We gonna pay them. Well, y'all contracted them. They got their money. Then we gonna pay them on top of that. I seen how you had your garbage cans out, with the garbage lid closed. In the ideal world, that's a good garbage can. But you got households with like a gang of people living in. Since COVID, people doubling up living with each other. Then y'all say y'all gonna tax them again and not pick their trash up. I mean, come on, we should have a resolution for what y'all saying. But like I said, all I keep hearing y'all saying, a penalty, a penalty, a penalty. That's not what you tell your residents. We need resolution. We need a better system. Then we're going to tag you. We're going to make y'all pay. We're going to tag you. We're going to make y'all pay. And I pray that whoever helped voted the contract in, I do pray y'all go back and look at it. And then y'all really do think about y'all residents. Again, we only 37 streets. It's not DC. DC is a whole huge place way bigger. This Riviera Beach. Come on, 37 streets. Look at it. So y'all look at y'all residents and y'all think about them. They really gonna go out there and box up trash, bag up trash? Look at them. Really? Come on. If y'all work for us and y'all really want us and our community to look good, y'all come better than this here.
I can respond to that. So thank you for the comment, and I definitely hear the frustration. I think the main thing is the main thing. The main thing is we're trying to get away from the amount of bulk that is put out each week. if you put out the correct amount of bulk, there will be no charge. And that's an effort to get away from the vacant lot and illegal dumping. You're a resident of Riviera Beach, right? You could go down the street and see vacant lots and homes with a bunch of garbage and trash and bulk just piled up. That's the attitude and the vision that the contract reads is trying to change, and that's what Mr. Shamba spoke on. Is basically a system that has been proven to work. So it's not that we're trying to. I know that the city of Riviera Beach is 85% renters. I know it has a high senior citizen demographic. And we're not here to hurt. We're here to listen. We're here to help. And since we took over this contract October 1st of last year, that's all we have done. We signed the contract, understanding this what it read. However, we said, you know what? We're not going to sit here and try to punish them every step of the way. We're going to work with the city. We're going to try to educate and try to change the mindset on how trash is looked at. I get it. You did it one way all these years. And I'm not from here. But I do like this city. I do love this city. It's a great place. It's a beautiful place. And I could go down certain streets. I'm like, wow. And it brings it to another point of why make the change, right? I'm just going to skip around a little bit. So I do like the energy. I do like the question. And that's what we're really here for. So unlimited curbside vision bulk. It attracts bad actors from inside and outside the city, increasing illegal dumping activity, and it's an eyesore to the community. We've been picking up piles since we started of bulk and veg, and it's addresses from Fort Lauderdale. So people are coming inside the city knowing that they could come in and dump in a vacant lot, dump in somebody's side yard, and just leave. I don't think that's fair to you guys. I don't think that's fair to the people that's here 50, 60 years. It raises the chance of infestation of rodents. It does. You have a bulk pile out there just sitting out there in a vacant lot, it brings more infestation of rodents. It blocks drainage, which can cause infestation of water. Y'all guys about to build a new water plant. A lot of infestation is coming from the trash and the garbage leaking into the drainage. Hurricane season, y'all right on the water. Them items become flying projectiles. Dangerous. Flying into your homes, flying into people's cars, all types of stuff. Erosion of road and grass life. My point is, we're not here to punish. We seen a contract, we've read a contract, that's the number we bid on. So did the other contractor. If it comes to a point we have to sit back at the table, that's not what we want to get to. We want it to be a participation. We're not saying that we're not willing to do the work. We've shown you guys over the course of the year, we're willing to do the work and go above and beyond and be transparent with it. But we want to work with you guys to make it a cleaner city, y'all phrase, into which live, work, and play. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Illegal dumping non-compliant piles is a pile in front of your house, your single family house, a pile that you put out. Illegal dumping in a vacant lots is totally separate. That comes off of the city. They are allotted 5,000 cubic yards per year of illegal dumping. After that 5,000 cubic yardage is ran up in that year, it's $27 a cubic yardage billed directly to the city, not to the residents. So the vacant lot. So my point is, if the resident is putting out these piles and people know that there's a limited bulk of Riviera Beach, it draws more people to come and bring their garbage, their veg, their bulk into the city and put it into the vacant lots. We're trying to, if you have it where it's compliant and the residents are putting out, they're allotted 6 cubic yards each week, 3 items each week. And like I said, we're not going to split hairs on this. We're not going to be out there tagging a pile that has 4 bulk items. That we only measured that 7, 8 cubic yards. That's not what we're here for. But when you have a community, like I said, it's 85 to 90% renters. And I've seen it, and it's disheartening. Property manager will come and do a home eviction, just put all their stuff right on the side of the street. It's disheartening. So that's how I feel about it personally. And that's how my people feel about it, because we care. We're not here to tax y'all, we're trying to work with you guys to make a process that was a way and affect change in a way that is more positive and conducive for a good living environment. And this city is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to grow. And I think it's opportunities and change. And that's what we're here for. Yeah, we from DC, but we are y'all people. We are salt of the earth people. So we could provide the contract, but like I said, the vacant lots, the city is allotted 5,000 cubic yardage each year that resets each year for the vacant lots and illegal dumping. That won't be assessed to you. The only thing will be assessed to you is if you put it out and it's non-compliant, we tag it, and you actually have an option. Once you call and say, I received this tag, you can remove some of the cubic yardage, you can remove a bulk item, we'll come back and pick it up. If you just say, F it, I just want to leave it there, I'll pay for it, it'll show up on your water bill. So it's choices. It's not a one or be all, it's choices.
Also, I want to make this clear. Our job is to ensure that the city is clean and safe. What I'm talking about is, again, this is a lot of rental community. You have your evictions, you have things like that. We're working with code enforcement to ensure if it's an absent landlord, they're the one that's going to be penalized, not the community. We're here, again, to assist, not to penalize. This is the educational component of this. This is why we sitting in this meeting, we having these conversations, so we'll be able to talk about these different things, to give you strategies of how can we correct this. If it's something that we need to work on, my team will work on it. If it's something that the good company need to work on, they will work on it. But again, we have these open dialogue for us to get any of your concerns so we can take it to the board and we'll be able to sit down and have discussions about it. We're not trying to penalize. And again, as I said before, the majority of the residents are not non-compliant. They're not. I explained before, we're working on the illegal dumping, the vacant lots. We're just putting this information out to the residents for you guys to know exactly what's going on and if it's something that we can do before December 1st come to make sure that everyone is comfortable with the routine or how the process works. That's why we're here.
Here just to discuss and advise on the illegal dumping and what that actually represents and what we're trying to do as a city about it. Deputy Chief Coppin.
Hi, how is everyone this evening? My name is Deputy Chief Coppin. I'll speak briefly about illegal dumping. It is illegal. Statutorily, it's illegal. It can be an arrestable offense depending on what's being dumped. Can be criminalized if you get a tag. Take photos of people you see dumping. We do have investigators that will come out and investigate it. If it's a repeated offender, the penalties obviously go up. Statutorily, I don't know what the statute is off the top of my head, but I know the fines are heavy and they would be responsible for the cleanup and so on. So if you do see someone dumping on your property or somebody else's property, try and get a tag. If you know who they are, please report them to the police department. It will be looked into and investigated. And also the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office has an entire unit that's all they do is go around the county investigating illegal dumping. And they have a list of known suspects. So please, please, please report it.
Thank you, Deputy Chief.
Raymond Tolman.
Good evening. My name is Raymond Tolman. My address is 1251 Gulfstream Way. I've got two questions really of clarification. In the presentation, you showed a garbage can on the roadway. Now, is that in violation of any requirement to keep the roadway clear? That's my first question. Second one is concerning putting out the garden waste. I got a yellow tag, and it was explained to me that I'd put out the yard waste 48 hours before the pickup, and it should only be 24 hours. Now, you didn't mention any limitation on time. Perhaps you could clarify those points for us. Thank you.
I'll answer your second question first. Per our city ordinance, you have 12 hours before the pickup time, and it has to be brought in before 12 midnight of the pickup date. So it's not 48 hours, it's not 24 hours, it's 12 hours. And after your garbage has been picked up, it has to be before, right after midnight, it's your limited. So if it's after that, if it's 24 hours, you can get a warning that you need to bring your garbage bin in. If it's after that 24-hour period, you can get fined up to $25.
The issue was before 48, 2 days, Monday and pickups on Wednesday, that's before, and that was the violation.
Right. It has to be 12 hours before pickup, not 48 hours.
24.
And not 24 hours. Here is what you probably received, and this is from code enforcement. And what this is, it is a notice, this is a warning. Okay, this is still part of our educational component. This is a warning to advise you what you can and what you cannot do.
Nehemiah, excuse me. The pickup, this is Cheryl Bostic, Code Administrator for Riviera Beach. Your vegetation items can be placed out 24 hours prior to pickup. So if it's on Wednesday, you can place them out on Tuesday. If you place your garbage cans out on Tuesday for a Wednesday pickup, when you return home and the garbage can has been emptied, you are to place it to the rear or the side of your property. Staff has been out and they see garbage cans continue to be on the street for over 24 hours in some locations. They may leave a door hanger, advise you to remove it back to the curb. With the new process, if it's placed with a door hanger and not removed from the curb, once they have come back to identify that the can has not been removed, the new process, you will be billed $25 for that service can. So please make sure you move your cans from the curb after pickup, but it is 24 hours prior to pickup.
So we are,
My first question was about putting the garbage on the roadway.
No, you're speaking about your total, correct?
There was a photo of a garbage can on the road, and that was said to be acceptable. I'm surprised.
Well, the total placement is supposed to be 3 feet from the curb, I believe, 3 feet from the curb.
Into the property.
Yes.
So your picture showed it on the roadway.
Okay. Well, on this presentation.
The first presentation showed.
All right. Well, we'll clarify that, but it's not supposed to be in the roadway.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
so we're gonna do one more question right now. We're gonna get to you, Ms. Brown, don't worry. But we're gonna do one more question right now. We're gonna let the goods company continue and finish their presentation, because a lot of the questions and dialogue is answered within the presentation. So a lot of your questions that you may have, he's gonna try to get to them. Because we wanna stick to the program, we wanna make sure that we get through all of the information tonight. And we're gonna continue to do this. One of my residents asked me to make sure that we continue to have this discussion, because the only way we can improve this is by continuing to talk about it and seeing a better process. So that's what we'll work on. Take one more question, Mr. Smith.
Okay, Henry Simmons.
Mr. Simmons? Oh, he left? Next one? He left. Oh, I'm sorry, he's back here.
My name is Harry Simmons, 1517 West 10th Street, Riviera Beach. I'm talking about a concern of a lot. What do you do when you call about having your lot cut and it's not my lot? and it has a lot of extra trash on it, so high you can't even see back through there. I called code enforcement. Mr. Williams, I haven't got no response from, I talked to him, but nobody been to the lot. No one. Been about 3 months, 4 months. Snakes, possums, coons, all of it's in there and it's coming to the house. So what you gonna do? Who do I talk about coming getting it?
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. I was trying to make out everything you said, but it was kind of low.
It's kind of low. I can come back.
I believe Mr. Simmons is his name.
Yes.
Yes, you're speaking about a vacant lot that's adjacent or next to your property that's
Right.
overgrown.
Right.
Have you noticed a yellow sign or orange sign
Yep, there's
placed in
been
the lot?
signs, been signs.
Okay,
been
if the
signs.
sign is there, that means code enforcement has identified the property owner to service their lot.
For 5 months.
Well, I'm not sure it's been 5
Listen,
months, but if it
I can tell
has,
you.
I take your word for it, I'm not
Okay.
denying it. If you give me that location, I will have staff looking to see why we have not had our contractor go out to service the lot. Because if it's been identified, we notify the property owner, give them time to at least 10 days minimum to cut their property. If they don't, we have contractors which we contact to give us a quote. They visit the lot, tell us how much it's gonna service the lot for, and then at that point, we ask them to go out and service the lot. So if your lot next to your house has not been serviced yet, please let me know before I leave.
Okay,
so
well, it's
we can
happened.
give
It happened. That lot, I've been over there on that street over 50 years.
Okay,
Nobody never stayed in that empty lot. From what I hear, the person that owned the lot live in California.
okay.
They say they've been servicing that lot ever since I've been there.
So if they've been servicing a lot, that means if they're getting billed.
Yeah, well,
and
that's
it will
their bill.
become a
Let them get the
utility bill.
bill. I don't care who get the bill, but we getting the snakes. In the meantime, the snakes, the raccoons, and cats, and everything else coming over to our house. That don't make sense to me. And I'm sorry that they don't have, like it used to be, come in there and just cut it and keep going. Now you got trees way taller than my house. I have to cut, literally, their lot, side of their lot. In my house, side of their lot, I have to cut it myself. I got a tractor, I cut it. But I know, we ain't that big.
Okay, well, we'll see if we can get someone, find out where the contractor is or the quote is, so we can get that lot serviced as soon as possible. But if you have the address, we'd like to give it to staff, we'll make sure we look into that tomorrow.
All right, so we do have the comment cards. We have the cards for people that turn them in, and we're going to get to them. But we want to get through our presentation so that we can allow for the goods company to address a lot of the concerns that people have also sent in and that we have tonight. And we'll try to get to everybody's conversation tonight and comments tonight. Thank you, Mr. Good.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lawson, Councilman Lawson. All right, so just to continue through the presentation quickly, major changes of this franchise agreement include, of course, the rental and maintenance charge on the multifamily front-end containers, cubic yardage limitations of what we're basically talking about, the curbside vegetation of bloat, and the new blue City of Riviera Beach carts. All right, so as far as the carts go, we exchanged over. Go to that slide actually now. All of this language is basically what we've been talking about. The non-compliant piles. I believe the gentleman asked, what is 6 cubic yards? What is 6 cubic yards exactly? The measurement is the length times width times height divided by the 27. And of course, I gave the trying to visual explanation. And we'll do this event again, and we'll bring in more props and keep going with this. Co-mingled piles. So co-mingled piles are also considered non-compliant. I think Mr. Spence kind of explained that as well. That's a vegetation pile mixed in with bulk piles. That is also non-compliant. And of course, the vegetation piles that exceed the 6 cubic yards. These are some examples that I browsed through earlier, showing the non-compliance. That's a fencing job, look like someone did and put it out. That's not compliant. Oversized veg pile. This was probably an eviction and a home clean out on the left, and on the right, looked like somebody was throwing out a lot of furniture. Again, looked like a construction job that someone left. And this is also over 6 cubic yards with the veg, and it's also commingled with the bulk on the end. Again, these are compliant piles. These are piles that are compliant. Like I said, we're not going to split hairs with that. We're focused on the previous slides, piles looking like that. The tagging process, I should have used a different color on this. Bear with me here. But the contractor, we'll come to a pile, we'll tag it with the non-compliant tag. You then, the resident, will call Public Works to report that you did receipt that. As Mr. Spence explained, you have 24 hours to do so. If the resident chooses to pay for the removal, the next step will be Public Works approving the estimated cubic yards that we would have sent to them. They received a data pickup from us. We have 72 hours to come and retrieve that after the approval comes. Typically, we'll be there well before 72 hours. We try to get there if we can the same day, but definitely the very next day. We then will remove the non-compliant pile, and then, of course, as Mr. Spence explained, that will be shown on your water bill. This process, the same process, so we come tag the pile. This is, for instance, if the resident chooses to remove some cubic yardage or bulk items from the curb in that 24-hour time frame, we would then the Public Works would then verify that has been done. We would then give them a data pickup within that 72 hours, and then come remove the pile at no charge to the resident. In this process, if you see the tag, you don't care about it, you say, F it, I'm not going to remove anything, I'm not going to pay for it, or you just don't or don't call Public Works, you still will be charged on your water bill at the end of the day, because we will have the address associated to that. Again, that is for non-compliant piles in front of your own homes, not the vacant lots. We went through why the change from the unlimited bulk. No sense of going through that again. Again, I explained the vacant lots and illegal dumping. The city has 5,000 cubic yardage per year allotted to illegal and vacant lot dumping per the agreement. After 5,000 cubic yards is spent in a year, the city will be billed by the contractor $27 per cubic yard thereafter. There's some pictures of vacant lots. And as you can see, these pictures, we picked these pictures out because it was actually by a sign that said no illegal dumping. So, yeah. So the cart. So over the course of this past year, we changed out a little over 12,000 carts throughout the city, taking the old green toters and carts and replacing them with the blue ones. In an effort of uniformity, the green carts will cease being serviced at a date provided by city officials. So at a given date and time, if you put a green cart out, it will no longer be serviced. So until we get that date, don't worry about it, but that will be coming down the line. If you are in need of an additional cart, please contact us for that. That's at an $85 cost. Each household is permitted to purchase 2 additional carts, so 3 carts max. So you get your first cart, you're able to buy 2 additional ones. Recycle. That brings to the recycle. So a lot of the stuff that we throwing in the trash could be recycled, and you probably won't have a need for the additional carts. Maybe you do, because we do understand that, in times there are a lot of people living in homes, but a lot of the things that you put in your garbage can, you can put in a recycling bin. And we want to promote recycling. We have some information of materials that are recyclable. So we definitely want to get the participation up in the city for recycling. And you can call us if you do need a blue or yellow recycling bin, and that's at no cost. So like I said, we here to make it work. We're a family company. We're transparent. We want to treat our communities and our partners, our vendors as such, as family. So we're here for the conversation. We're here for the dialogue. We're here to work with y'all. We plan to be here for the whole 10 years of this contract. So we ain't going nowhere. And we here to work with you guys and do it for the long haul. That brings us to some community outreach. I'm gonna let one of your Riviera Beach Zone, Chris McAfee, speak to things we've already done in the communities that we service and things we plan to do. And he could take that away from us, and then we'll open it up for more questions.
Hello. Welcome. I am a resident of Riviera Beach, or excuse me, I was born and raised in Riviera Beach, and my family resides in Riviera Beach. And I have a love and a respect for Riviera Beach that only comes from someone that grew up here and can understand some of the issues that we face. So Again, my name's Chris McAfee. I did want to talk about some of our community outreach programs and things that we do. We value the next generation, and it's our responsibility and duty to set our young people up for success. We are involved with some of the middle schools and elementary schools here in Riviera Beach. They challenge the norm and look for direction. It's very important as young professionals and waste haulers that we show that there are people that look like us and will get dirty to do the job. Wisdom and knowledge not shared is wasted. It's very important. Our young adults are definitely looking for direction here in this community. Our plan is to support and encourage the youth in Riviera Beach in order to show that hard work is valued and awarded. Nothing worth having comes easy. Just like this contract, the good companies fought to be in this area. It's important to be in Riviera Beach. Mr. Good, Mr. Willie K. Good, and Mr. Willie D. Good have expressed that they fought for this. It wasn't something that was about business. It's a place of community outreach, community development, and there's a lot going on. So it's a blessing to be here. Senior citizen veterans, as a company, we understand the value of listening and learning from our elders and those who served. We would not be sitting here today without them, and they will be treated with reverence and respect. That's important. Riviera Beach is a place to come and retire and the best place to live, work, and play. Well, it's important to have our ear to the residents to understand, or elders and veterans to understand what you need. Programs include, but not limited to, a concierge backdoor service. Our plan is to have a single truck service those who qualify for backdoor service with a personal touch, ensuring our seniors get the Midas touch and professional feel from us, showing that we care. The goal is to come to the back door, say hello, ma'am or sir. We're here to take this away for you and bring it back in a professional and conducive manner. Our backdoor service will include a quality pressure washing cleaning. That means every quarter we want to come out to that resident and clean that can for them and be sure that it's clean. We will work with your community leaders to ensure we are sponsoring and supporting our seniors and veterans in any way possible. We spent some time at the Lindsay Davis Center in Riviera Beach recently talking to the residents, and we were able to take back their concerns and understand some of the things that they may need. And we may be still addressing some of those things, but the goal is to be transparent and have an open dialogue. Give us more ideas. If there's anyone in this room that has ideas for us to support our veterans and or our seniors, we'd love to hear. We'll be in the back, and there'll be some information also where you can reach out to us at a later date. We value the next generation, and it's our responsibility and duty to set our young people up for success. They challenge the norm and look for direction. Wisdom and knowledge not shared is wasted. Again, I think it went backwards. Last, I wanted to talk about our company being a second chance company. We look forward to hiring people who have been in situations or circumstances that don't necessarily look like them. We hired 57% of our staff out of Riviera Beach. They have Riviera Beach addresses, and that's important to us. So when you see those individuals on the back of a truck or driving a truck, know that they live somewhere, that 57% of them live somewhere in those 37 streets that we talked about, sir. So it's important to be nice and be kind because they do live in your area. GCF has been busy. We sponsor some of the events below. Paint Your Heart Out, a partnership with SWA. This is where we painted a home for a veteran who lives in Riviera Beach, a 50-year vet. He is still currently living in Riviera Beach. Our honor roll middle school breakfast at John F. Kennedy. This was done by the mayor of Riviera Beach, Ronnie Felder, and Mr. Willie D. Good. The Right to Read, a community documentary screening and panel discussion with seniors in Riviera Beach. This was done in conjunction with Kashamba Miller Anderson, Councilwoman Kashamba Miller Anderson. We also partnered with Juneteenth of Palm Beach County, who hosted their event in Riviera Beach twice, and it has now since moved on to Palm Beach County. friends and foster children, helping children throughout Palm Beach County. Our goal with that is to be sure that foster children are heard. We have disenfranchised young adults, and it's important for them to see their garbage hauler in their area. Winter Wonderland at the City of Riviera Beach was also something that was productive and conducive. If you, as a resident or community leader, has an event that you'd like us to attend, please let us know. Thank you.
Some more discussion, dialogue, Q&A, just so we can kind of hear from our residents for the last few moments. If we don't get to everybody's questions, comments, or concerns, we're going to make sure before we close this program out, we get all of your contact, and we can send that email or communication or phone call to the goods company and to the city. And we're going to go ahead and schedule another one. Ms. Jacobs, our assistant city manager, she's going to be putting together another program with the goods company and staff to continue this dialogue. It's going to be a constant discussion. That turnaround, like they said, was a short period and a short turnaround from the company that was here. So we want to make sure that we hear all the questions, concerns, and improve it every day moving forward. Okay?
Mr. Battles?
Yes, my name is Frank Battle. I've been a resident of Riviera for years and years and years. My point is this. So far, the good company has done good. But here's my point. In my neighborhood, people are moving out. Now, when people move out, here's a problem. The grass gets yay so high, okay? There are houses in there right now. There's a lot next to me. The grass gets like so. Now, this may not be the goods responsibility, but the grass gets so high. Every maybe 3 months, the owner will come, he may cut the yard. Then it grows up this way. Now, when it gets up that way, what happens is that other people come in, throw trash on the lot. That's a problem. And like the gentleman said, snakes, rats, coupons, everything comes in the neighborhood. Who is responsible for that? Right now in my street, there are houses that are vacant, people that moved out. Who's responsible for cutting that yard? Who's responsible for keeping that property up? Or does it have to be that way? Suppose someone to buy houses in our community, to look at that and say, wait a minute, look at that. I don't want to buy houses in this community. Look at that yard, look at that house. Who's responsible for keeping those yards up, the houses up? Who does that? Who's responsible for that?
Go ahead.
We'll have code enforcement answer that question, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Betts.
Sir, you have a, again, for anyone that's in the audience that are speaking of any overgrown vacant parcels or vacant homes, please direct those calls to our code enforcement department. And I can give you our number. We have business cards that's going to be placed in the back. But the answer to your question, sir, is when a resident or the owner evicts a tenant, we don't know when they're going to evict a tenant. So they may leave a big pile out there, but it is the owner's responsibility to maintain their property, whether it's vacant or it's a vacant lot or homesteaded property. It's the owner's responsibility. Staff is out there daily. They may not be on your street on the same day that they evict the tenant, but if there is a home that the staff has not seen, please contact our office so they can come and place a sign in the yard to let you know that we see it. We do send out notices. Some landlords, we may be able to get the contact information. We may even know who the landlord is to give them a courtesy call to advise them to cut the lot or come and clear the debris out of the yard. But if that property may have been cited, but I won't know until I give the address to where it is, and staff can look it up tomorrow. So we're happy to look into it and make contact so you don't have to live next to a vacant house or even a yard that's over 18 inches in height. And with debris or accumulations around it, stuff at the curb where people have gone through the vacant home and just scattered everything across the street. Because that's what happens once they evict someone. People come through and they tend to go through it. So it's even worse than what it was apparently put out by the sheriff department. But you can contact our office and we'll do our best to make sure we try to reach the property owner to get those items removed. Or again, contact the Public Works Department after we made our attempt, and then they will contact the good company to have the items removed. You're welcome.
The next is Victor Vieira. Helen Darling. Tiffany Williams.
Good evening. I do agree that city council needs to go back and look at this contract. I don't agree with it. Instead of putting the expenses on the back of the residents, it needs to be looked at again. But I want to ask two questions. You talk about clean and safe. Is this in the contract? When they pick up the bulk and the vegetation pile, they don't get out and rake? They just leave it there when stuff drop? So now we have trash and broken glass in the street. Another thing, we have 2 sweepers in the city. I email, they're inoperable all the time. So when I come home from work, I see the residue that the trash has been left in the street. There's no pickup or anything, even like on the next day, because once the trash is picked up, the sweeper's supposed to come the next day. So when you talk about clean and safe, all that intertwines with everything.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. To answer your question on the loose materials left behind after a bulk or veg pickup, no, it is not detailed in the contract for our drivers to get out and rake and sweep the street. It is detailed that if you do have loose materials, it should be bagged. And that's in the effort to keep the trucks moving and things of that nature. So to answer the question, no, it's not. It's not on us to get out, our drivers to get out and rake the loose materials. It states in the contract, if it's loose clippings or loose grass or loose anything, it should be bagged. Say it again. Typically, they'll try to push it back up against the curb, but they're not raking it up.
When it comes to your question about the sweepers are up and running, so they should be coming through your neighborhoods. Next is Mr. Jonathan Evans. Ms. Mary Brown.
Is it okay if I stand here? And I think I can talk loud. I think I can talk loud enough so that everybody can hear me. My name is Ms. Mary Brown, and I live in the city of Riviera Beach. Apparently back in 1995 was the solid waste contract. And in that contract, first of all, I'm going to say that it is enough land to go around. On your Google card as well as the city card. Because within that contract, it had some unique things that was laid out for the city for the comparison. Because back in 1995, they was geared up, gunning for the minority of the city. And in that contract, when these negotiations was made, someone should have went back and poured back and saw some of that uniqueness in order for good if you wanted the contract. For one, I come in these council meetings. Will, good to see you.
I see you too, Ms. Brown.
I stated that night that if you get this contract, your concerns should be our concerns, and our concerns should be your concerns. Apparently, something has fallen in the gap. How do we get it right here? We get it right here on the city part, because as far as code enforcement, we can do better there too. Because the city does a whole lot of stuff that they shouldn't do in our communities with this country. So see, it is plain to go around. Because for a couple months on our main bill, they was putting boats of trash on our MLK cars. right on. And that daddy that leads the S Avenue off of MLK, they came in there 2 weeks ago and they left those gallons of oats there. If you're not going to do it all, then the contract needs to be known about. This is all it is to do. Because it is some things here that we as customers, we expect. We expect more than what we are giving you. I know your turnover is astronomical because the route that serves me, and I'm going to give him a shout out. Hail, Kyle, he's been with you from day one. He is a worker. See, I don't mind paying you if you want, because it's so often on those routes, it be different ones. And from what I can see, sometimes you put them in off the street and come in and start working. But I'm going to make a comment that I saw too, and I want you to answer this. It was a new guy there that was with the tire on the route. He opens up my neighbor garbage across the street, which she can do better too. So everything is not labeled on you. He opens up her garbage disposal. He pulls out stuff. She had the little yellow bin there, and he just threw it there. He just threw it there. Now, mind if he took it out of her garbage bin, why not take that decency to make sure that it was down in that receptacle? Tyler said, "Don't worry, I got it." That's the type of worker that you have. And that's the type of worker that you should be. And you should pay them, because it's hard to get good help. And he is good. He's been with you from day one. See, I observe all of this stuff. And I let them know. But what I would like for you to do, as well as with this, those that sit up there that knows I sit, don't bring that trash. Not on 9th Street, not on 10th Street, on none of these streets in Revere Beach. If you have contracted this out, it is your responsibility. Wherever you have pulling it out of these canals at, don't bring that mess into our neighborhoods, because that's wrong. That's wrong. And then I said, I told the city manager, sorry, I said, afraid of the thing. Head need to go, because you all are employees of this city. And who does that? Reprimand. This way I'm a reprimand you for doing that. Because how do you expect for us to do our part when you are not doing your part? So please, it is enough blame to go around. But we can all work together to get this done. So you're going to increase our rates. So we expect a little bit more from you. So I'm asking for that contract to go back. Compare that contract with what solid waste had. Pull out some things in there. It's not too late to do that if you want to work with us. To give us, to meet us somewhere in the middle here. Because this is what we said. We know that inflation is inflation, but we do ask for some middle ground somewhere here. And I, as a customer, I rooted for you as well as anybody else that would come in and serve us, not because you're a minority company, but to give you that chance so that you can show us what you can do. But we can't do that. And we as a city too, we can do that too. We as residents throw all the trash all around, papers and stuff, flying out that, and I'm driving that car. The car in front of me just threw the knife back to me. Oh, God. Residents, we owe it to ourselves to do better. And when we see these things here, we should tell our neighbors. I do. I have to go around with an empty can because I had to be rushed to the hospital. Because the brother next door was so out of compliance. But I thank the code enforcement because I was talking about these. And he's right about
Thank you. Mr. Lloyd Brown.
I don't need my view. You didn't answer the question. You didn't answer the question. About whether or not, you know, when I told you on Tuesday, open up that receptacle, pull out the stuff that was in her garbage can. And then, is that permissible? Do they supposed to do that?
No, man, that's not the process, but I definitely will be looking into that on that truck. The procedure, I believe you're talking about the toter or not recycling, correct? The toter, yeah. So the procedure we have on our semi-automatic trucks, they're to pull the toter from the curb, place it on the tipper, and tip it from there. They're not supposed to be digging in the toter. That's not how they train, for various reasons. So we definitely will be looking at the video on that. Mr. Kyle, oh yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, he ain't going nowhere. Yes, ma'am.
What I want to say is, I heard you say something about the youth. But I didn't see the youth when they were changing these garbage cans from the green ones to the blue ones. I saw some people who never lived in my neighborhood doing that. So you say youth, you're trying to help them with the job. So what happened then with the youth or the people who were here? That's not the only question. I guess you must have been getting over on solid waste. I mean, they done, honestly, like, man, they done a lot. Like she's saying, they did do a lot, a whole lot. And now, as far as y'all talking about these different properties, that, like he said, the grass and all that, code enforcement not really fair. So how do you go to somebody because they complain about the yard they door when you got this boat company down there on 15th Street, you can see the boat they tearing down all out there, but they don't do much talk about them, you know, hey, y'all need to get this out of their beach, but you telling the person that they don't put their garbage can back up in the yard, they're gonna get fined $25. These people tearing up boats that they take from out of the intercoastal. And I mean, you can see it, you come out of eyesore, you want to see an eyesore around there about 15th Street, right on Obama, that's supposed to be named after the president. And down there, you're gonna see that place. When you went to City Hall, you saw it, and when you went out to the code enforcement, you saw it. So like what I'm saying, when we get over on solid waste or whoever the other company was, because like, this seems like we're going from a junior high to a high school. The rules done got real strict in the high school. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, 'cause from solid waste, a lot of things that I see my neighbors put out. Solid waste picked up, and you know what you say, you don't sweep it, but a lot of them do is carry, they don't want to go to the shovels. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't complain that that's not their job. They didn't say, well, we're gonna fine you because you're putting this stuff out here. You know, they didn't even say bag it. I'll be honest with you, a lot of things I see people put out, solid waste picked up. I done seen a trash pile as long as that table down in a little hole down here, but y'all picked it up. Now, I don't know if you find those people for doing it, but like I'm saying, back to the code enforcement, you gotta be fair with everybody. You can't let a man come and tell you, I'm not trying to say anything wrong with what you said, but you can't let a man come and tell you about a property next to him when you got it all over the city, you riding by every day, you see it. Like, as far as the code enforcement, I done seen trailers in yards, and they bother me about my trailer, but I done seen mobile homes or SUVs, whatever you call it, put in the yard and there's a fence around it. So what I'm trying to say is, they'll bother me, the code enforcement, you talk about Hamilton, they'll bother me about a trailer, and here you got a RV that's fenced in a yard. So like, if y'all gonna try to go to code enforcement, you need to tell them to be fair with everybody. We don't just need them picking on nobody because, like I talk about noise, I'm telling you. I'm always say what I gotta say. I come to council meetings just like this, so that I can understand. But like what I'm saying back in, you said you, and the people I seen changing them garbage cans out wasn't no use, and it wasn't none of the people that you hired. So how did they get in there when you you saying that you hire people from here. I know the people who change those garbage cans get here. When you tell me about the youth, I mean, honestly, be fair, we want to be fair. We must have been getting over on South.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Yeah, to answer your question about the changing out the toter. So, as it was stated previously, it was a quick turnaround. We had 5 weeks to start this ramp up of this contract. Not only did we have to exchange the toters, but we had to get the commercial containers out as well. So a lot of the young folks that we did hire, we put right to work on the back of the truck. And we put the people that you did see out there, they're people that have been with us for years, that we bought in town and things of that nature. Hold on. And we did that because not only did they know the process, how we was going to do it to try to get that thing done, but it was a quick turnaround. So if we had 9 months to do this, to do this transition, we would have went to the high schools and everywhere to try to get the youth involved with that. That's something we definitely would have do. But because of the time constraints, we had to do what we had to do to get the job done.
There was a couple of them I sent there, and they said you had them on a temporary thing, and they had to work, and if they got hurt or whatever, they said there wasn't no benefit. I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway, the man said he was down somewhere, not in Riviera, and he said that you had on his check temporary employment, so he said he don't really want the job. He was a youth. I sent a couple of them there, and they left. They didn't like the situation they were in.
Yeah.
But now you want the citizens to abide by your rules. You want to charge them $25 when they do home. Okay, I got some people I know that are old, and they got a son that lives in Fort Pierce. Okay, he comes down because his old mother, she can't put the garbage out. You know, on that same day, he said. So now he come down here and he put it out 24 hours before because he got to go back to Fort Pierce. He's working on them days. So now, what about them? I mean, you were saying veterans, I'm a veteran too, but I wouldn't expect you to go, like up in North Farm, they go in the backyard and you take the garbage out.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't expect that to you. But what about the old lady who, like I said, who had the son that come down here on a Friday, and he puts her garbage out, and he puts her bulk or whatever out, and then you come around and you spray it, and the next thing you know, she gets a $25 fine for having her stuff out too early.
All right, so I'll answer the first one. I believe you said something about gentlemen that you sent with us. So the process, how that goes is they come, to start working for us, we call them temp workers. After a certain amount of time, I believe it's 60 days of working with us, then you become permanent. That's when you get all the benefits and stuff. Yes, sir. So after 60 days, they'll revert. They'll go from temporary employee to a permanent employee, and that's when the benefits hit on them. And then you said something about the remind me again. I'm sorry. So I'm not sure if Mr. McAfee touched on the concierge service that we want to implement. So we're working with the city to get a backdoor list, and we encourage all senior citizens. Yes. No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it here. So the plan to do that is instead of having those backdoor services on the truck, the ASL that comes through or the rear end comes through, we're going to route that on our what we call our pickup truck. So our route supervisor will have a list, and they'll go through all the backdoor services, and it'll be like a concierge service where they'll go to the resident, get their toter, dump it, and bring it back. And then also quarterly, we want to partner with our subcontractor to do a pressure washer cleaning for those residents as well. So we're establishing a backdoor list, and you can contact us in the city to qualify for that backdoor list. Like I said, veterans and senior citizens will qualify for that, and that's what we're doing for our senior citizens in the community.
Okay, the one thing about these properties, he was saying that they were going to get somebody to come in and cut these properties like the one he was talking about. But the people that you get to come in, I'm talking to the code enforcement, the people you get to come in to do these places, they don't live in Riviera. And what I'm trying to say, if you're going to bring employment here, and like what you say behind people, if you're going to bring employment here, you may be doing a good job. But our code enforcement, I mean, they're going to let somebody come in and cut this property, and then next thing you know, gonna be some guy buying for a little lean money, and he's gonna throw a house in there, and then he's gonna rent it out, and then you're gonna find the whole problem going all over again, and they ain't solving nothing.
I think that's a conversation for a further date. 'Cause you're talking about cutting and things of that nature. We don't cut.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is, you'll be doing your job, you know, it's an empty lot.
Mhm.
But I'm saying, for the code enforcement to say, well, we're gonna get somebody to come in, but why don't they get somebody, just like you hiring people from here, why don't they get somebody from here? See, I couldn't say that at a council meeting, I can say that in front of our face right now. Why don't you get somebody that lives here and cut those properties, instead of somebody from, Timbuktu?
I love that idea.
No, it ain't no
Yeah.
problem, but I want to bring it out because I could.
And I'm not gonna.
Just, we're gonna have one more because it's 8 o'clock. And, we have a list. If it's, any questions that you need, you'll be able to write it down and we'll be able to, go ahead and email you an answer or a call. The last one is, Sandra Moore. He's coming to you, sir.
Yes, well, my name is Ezra Moore. My question is for you, Mr. Good. For the last 3 weeks, your guy who picks up the yard waste, when he picks it up, it's on the curb. But as he brings it to his truck, he's dropping trash all across the street, from one side of the street to the other side of the street. So whose responsibility is that to pick it up? Yesterday, he told me it's not his, but he puts it in the street, not the citizen. So I think he should be the one with the broom, a shovel, and a rake to pick it up.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Any spillage that happens as a result of us service to you all is our responsibility.
Well, I asked him point blank. He said it wasn't his job.
And we will correct that mindset, because any spillage that happens because of a result of our service, we are responsible to clean
Because
up.
when he got off his truck, he looked at it.
That's a conversation we'll be having our next
got
tailgate
on his
meeting.
truck and left.
That's a conversation we'll definitely be having. I've heard of multiple things about the rake and shovel. Clearly, it's a situation where it's a service that you guys are accustomed to do.
No,
and like I
I
said,
understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that it's a legal pile.
Mhm.
He is making a mess in the middle of the street, not on the curb side, but he's leaving it in the middle of the road where people have to drive their cars.
That's on us. That's on us.
That's it. So
That's
he
on
said
us.
that's not his job.
He is incorrect. That's on us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we're getting ready to wrap this up. Mr. Evans, do you have anything? Sorry to put you on the spot, but,
Again, thank you, everybody, for being here this evening. This was great feedback, and I assure you that both everyone on the city side and the good side are committed to resolving these issues and addressing what your concerns are. At the end of the day, we want to have a clean, safe community, and it takes all of us to do our part. And so we will follow up with you. There will be subsequent conversations that we'll have concerning solid waste services and improvements to the solid waste services. But thank you for spending this evening with us. This is great feedback. And I assure you, I believe the team and everyone is committed to resolving what your concerns are. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to speak to Mr. Nehemiah Spence on the city side or Mr. Arthur Johnson. And then I know the good company, they have their representatives here. So thank you for coming out this evening. We appreciate it.
Thank you again.